Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a speed paint for a poster for my friend Shaelin for her short story Kudzu Girls. This is actually based off a poster that I made for my sister back in September for her novel Fostered, and I was going for that kind of 80s-ish poster with the big heads and kind of cheesy graphic design, which I absolutely adore in these movie posters. I think The Outsiders, like a couple book covers, have similar designs, and it's nothing new, but I always thought that it's kind of cool for any sort of novel. I hope you enjoy this video. It's quite a long one. I wanted to get it down, but I didn't want to cut out too much. In the beginning, I started off with two sketches of Shaelin's characters, Poppy and Nell. And they're actually heavily referenced from these two photographs from this photographer. I think it's Maarten Schröder, I think that's his name. I'll have his links in the description box. For Nell, I kind of followed the reference a bit closer, except I made the face a little bit rounder towards the end. And then for Poppy, I took an image of the girl, but I roughly put in where her features were and then tried to make them a little bit rounder as well. So I'm really happy with the portraits of the girls. I did them in Krita with an airbrush. I can't remember the bundle. It might be David something. I'm not sure. It'll be in the description box. They're free for Krita, and his bundle is awesome. I love it. And it's just the regular old airbrush that he includes in it. No pressure size. And so I'm surprised that I used it for the whole piece. I actually was going to go over with a more detailed oil brush, but I ended up just going with the airbrush, and I'm really happy I did. I love the sort of shiny look that it has. It kind of feels like it could be in a cowboy movie, which I absolutely love. So the tint that I have, I think it's sort of like a greenish yellowish tint. I basically just put like an orange canvas in on top of the poster or the image in Photoshop, and then I changed the blending mode. I can't remember which blending mode I changed it to, but it really doesn't matter. It depends on the image, and it's just a matter of trial and error, to be honest, to get what I want. And then I was editing some stuff in Camera Raw towards the end, and just to up the contrast, and I really love the colors on on this. For the fostered poster, they're a bit yellower, and then there's blue in the hair and in all the darks. And I did initially want something a bit more skin tony, but I'm actually really happy with the way this ended up turning out anyway. So for the overlay, I went to Unsplash to try and find a photograph to put on top, and in fostered, I actually used a train. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's actually a train behind the entire thing, and there's some tracks that come up towards the front. And so this short story is set in a greenhouse, so I thought, hey, why not include a greenhouse? But none of the greenhouse pictures were really working, so I ended up just searching up vines on Unsplash and included like twiggy sort of vines on top of them. And I think it looks really cool, so you can actually see me messing around with that and changing the blending modes and all that until it sort of worked, and then I think I turned down the opacity a bit. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this. I initially started off with painting Nell, and then I just did really fast painting. It probably took about half an hour to get where you see it at the beginning, and that's because I tend to zoom up too close in my digital paintings, and so I detail things too quickly, and the rest of the painting just looks like a huge old mess. So I wanted to get the values in real first, and that usually helps out a lot in the end. So, and then I went over and I did Poppy, and it just kind of like made Nell look a little washed out, so I had to go back and fix it, and the blending was a little funny, but that's fine. This whole thing, like the paintings took me maybe 2 hours for both of them, which is actually really surprising because I'm usually quite slow at digital art. And then the design took an extra 2 hours, so I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours in total, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was actually a really fun process, and I enjoyed it a lot. For the text, I just copied and pasted the layer that was from the fostered poster, and then I just deleted all of my sister's info and then replaced it with Shaelin's name, and then some of her characters' names for the costume and casting and stuff like that. And that's kind of incoherent, to be honest. Instead of putting like the names of the actors, I put her short story title, so it's kind of random, but it works for the design anyway. So yeah, I chose the color that was on Poppy's hair so it would match with the font for the text, and then for the font for the actual Kudzu Girls, I can't remember which one it was, but I didn't want it to be the same as the fostered one. I wanted something a bit chunkier, and I did want them to look like they could have belonged to the same collection or obviously done by the same designer, but I didn't want them to be the exact same, so I ended up choosing something slightly different, and I'm really happy with that. I believe the font is like a greenish brown. It's the same or similar color as what's in the shadows, and I think that made it quite a bit more cohesive. So that's basically all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoy it. I really enjoyed the process for it. I made it in one day when I was actually sick and I stayed home from school, and so it was a pick-me-up kind of experience. But I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hopefully will get some more content out soon, and I will see you in the next one.